is Shay. Welcome back to the channel. If any of you guys are new, my name is Shay and I'm a registered nurse that does YouTube videos on beauty, nursing, and lifestyle weekly. This week I'm bringing you guys a nursing video that is jam-packed with some information. I said for the month of July and August we were going to try to fit in some of the basics to nursing because I feel like this is information I wish I had when I was a student. So as you guys can see in the title, we're going to be talking about 4 creative ways to gain scholarships and grants for school. And this isn't only for my nursing students. This can be for anyone that's getting ready to go on to that college experience. The biggest hoopla question is, how will I pay for college? I will gladly tell you guys straightforward up front here, I am a loan borrower. We're going to talk a lot more about that in some future videos, but I want to kind of try to get you guys onto the path of where you don't even have to think about being a loan borrower. Or even if you do, there's no shame in it, but you can knock down and make sure you're borrowing at the minimum. So let's talk about these scholarships and grants. I'm going to give you 4 creative ways you can find them. If you like what you see here, make sure you subscribe so I can give you guys more information. So as we start off, of course I have to shout out one of my friends who's going through her nursing journey. She was actually the inspiration to this video. We spent a lot of time just sitting down and talking about different ways to pay for college and different ways to find resources to help pay for college. And once I talked to her and realized I was giving all these gems to so many people, I'm like, why am I not giving these gems to my YouTube family? Why is there not a video I could tell y'all can click on and get this information? So shout out to her first for the inspo. But let's go ahead and get into the first way to, look for scholarships and grants as a student. So the first thing I always tell everybody is to make sure you check your locals. So when I talk about locals, guys, there are some things you can do to see if there's any money out there you can gain from the city you live in, from the state you live in, somewhere that's very minimal and small where your chances are almost higher at getting that scholarship. So one thing I did when I was a student in high school, I went on to my city's local page, the .org page, and I looked to see if I could find a section for scholarships, and I was able to find that, and that was one way I was able to gain a scholarship. So you guys have to look at it. The pot that you're digging in, when you're going to look for scholarships, people will tell you, oh, Coca-Cola, Lysol, Johnson & Johnson, which, don't get me wrong, I want y'all to apply for these too, but you always have to think about that math class when you learned about chances and percentages and chances of getting things. If you have 200,000 people applying to Coca-Cola, your chance is 1 in 200,000. If you have 500 people applying for the local fire department and they have a certain criteria and you meet that, your chance is 1 in 500 or even less than that. So you increase your chances by kind of going for the more local scholarships. Like I said, check those websites for your city.org. Check your state, New Jersey State, Pennsylvania State, North Carolina, Alabama, Cali. Check your state page and see if there's any information on there also. These are really good opportunities for people to get scholarships because, like I said, we're playing the game of chance, and your chances are way higher as compared to trying to get them from these higher companies. And some of the local places, like I said, include fire departments, police departments a lot of times give scholarships. There's local grocery stores, there's mom and pop stores, there's churches, which we will talk more about as we get into some other information. Tons of resources. People think there's nowhere to find money, especially now with the pandemic and everything going on, when actually I feel like your chances will be a little bit better. So make sure you check out those local spots. So for this second tip, I wanted to say it would be for my more traditional student, but even if you're non-traditional, which means you're not like a grad fresh out of high school, fresh out of college, you might still have a chance with this. You might just have to dig a little bit deeper. And these are scholarship foundations. So scholarship foundations are programs that are granted or gifted to an organization. So your high school should have one, your college should have one, and there are people that are on the foundation that contribute money in order to produce scholarships, and they usually have certain criteria. So for example, since some of us are nursing students on here, I'll give you this example. I might have been alumni from my high school or my college, and I decide to put a scholarship in like my name or my grandmother's name and gift $500 scholarship to a nursing student with a 3.0 GPA and a letter of recommendation. So see how specific that can get? That's why I really tell people to go for those foundation scholarships. There's almost I feel like 80% chance that if you apply for a foundation scholarship, you're going to get at least one, if not more. I know when I was a high school student, I was like trying to enjoy my senior life, and I eventually applied for one, and I actually ended up getting three, y'all. 3 of those foundation scholarships. And then when I got on to college, I was able to attain one also. So there should be no excuse. Don't let life get in your way. Some of those applications are so simple. And the beauty in foundation scholarships too are most of the time you only have to fill out one application. You only have to have a set 3 or like 2 or 3 letters of recommendation. And that one application or those 3 letters of recommendation goes to each one you decide to apply for. So usually when you're going down the list, you choose, okay, this. These are all the ones I want to apply for. And that one time you fill that out, it disperses to everyone. So make sure you look into foundation scholarships. These are sometimes hard for, like I said, non-traditional students because they require like GPAs. They require sometimes transcripts. They require what was your standing in school prior to applying for this. But if you take your time and dig, some of those literally will say non-traditional student or new student or student new to the organization. So just take your time, especially if it's a school or a college you got accepted to. You can go on their page and look, even if this will be your first time. You might find those occasional non-traditional student scholarships. So tip 3 is going to be a hood tip. Okay, a hood tip, because we gotta remember what the streets taught us, y'all. It's who you know. It's your previous affiliations. Make those affiliations work for you. So I'm gonna tell y'all a little bit about me to be an example of how this works. So there's always, those honor societies when you're in college. So when I went to community college, I joined honor society. I had a lot of people say, oh my God, it's a waste of money. You have to pay dues. You have to do this. You have to do that. The dues, y'all, was like $95 to join. So I was kind of thinking the same thing. I was a young student. My mom's like, Lachey, you need to pay for that because you never know when that $95 will turn into $500. Well, let me tell y'all, my mom is the GOAT. She knows the affiliations. So that same organization that I joined, I got inducted to, went through that whole process. I was in the honor society. When I graduated from community college, I applied for a scholarship with that group. And I was able to obtain that scholarship for, I think it was like $500 or $600 based on my attendance to like helping with some of their, some of their events and being a part of that organization. So it's really about who you know. And that's why I tell people to dig back into your past. Even if you're going to college and it's like 5 years after you've graduated from high school or 5 years after you've done another degree, dig back and figure out, were you in National Honor Society? Were you in an honor society at all? They have all these different ones with the different Greek letters. Theta Kappa, Delta Kappa. I'm not saying them right, but these are like groups you want to look back and think about. Sororities. Were you in a sorority or what's the boy name for sororities? Aren't they still called sororities for boys? Were you in a sorority when you were in college? Those are really good because you are somebody who was known to that organization. So 9 times out of 10, somebody is going to vouch for you to get a scholarship there. Another thing I told you guys earlier about religious affiliations were you part of a church organization? Church organizations are very, very good at giving, especially to people who are trying to better themselves. So make sure you check those out. I received a scholarship from a church. So that's how I'm telling y'all, like, get into those connections. Were you part of groups in high school, project graduation, I think Golden Key, some of those things. Were you in JROTC? Y'all see I'm name dropping because you need you need to name drop. Like I said, this is a hood tip. Who do I know? What affiliations do I have? How can I make sure I'm getting my best benefit from what I've contributed to in my past? Okay, guys, so we are getting down to our last tip. And our last tip might seem pretty vague, but stay tuned because I will explain it. So my last tip is the big word that I say it for everything: research. We have the beautiful Google now. We have the beautiful internet that is fast running and getting us through. We have phones. We can go and research stuff. So when I'm telling you to research, this is what I want you guys to research for. The first thing you want to say, I know most of my students here are nursing students, but even for the students who are not, what is your major or what is your long-term goal with your degree? That is the first way you can research for scholarships. So get on Google, scholarships for nursing students, scholarships for criminal justice students, scholarships for liberal arts students, scholarships for what you want to do. That happens to bring down those chances I was talking about in the first step. So make sure any way you can narrow down your search for scholarships, always, the more you narrow down, the higher your chances get, because you're narrowing down the pool of applicants and you're narrowing down your competition. So that's how you kind of figure that out. Also, if you have a job, make sure you go on and research Burger King, banks, hospitals, big flag hospitals. Like, if you don't see anything else in this video, hospitals, organizations, those are big ones you need to go and research. You need to ask your HR people, do you guys have scholarships for people who are going on to progress or do better? And like I said, just your career goals in general. What is your main top career goal? Is it, you might be going for biomed, but is it physical therapy? You need to look for physical therapy scholarships, because sometimes when you write that essay and say what you want to do and what your plan is, that is the very thing that will get you into that scholarship. So what is your ultimate career goal? Lay out your goals. I know people always say, you know, move in silence and, you know, don't go putting out your business. But when you write these essays, y'all, for these scholarships, y'all, we're going for money. We want people to supply these dreams. So write down the vision and make it plain. What do you want to do? What is your plan to do it? You ain't got to give them every detail. You don't want nobody stealing your plan. But what is your goal? How do you want to achieve it? What do you plan to do to achieve it? What are some discrepancies that might come up and you've already decided how you will, you know, beat those challenges? Like, all right, y'all, so I told you this was going to be a short but jam-packed with information video for you. We have talked about 4 creative ways that you can get scholarships or grants to carry you into your college or your nursing degree or any degree that you are going to pursue. So make sure you guys get out here. My biggest tip in life, I feel like, is research. Research literally saved me a lot of time and agony, and when I didn't do research, I gained a lot of time and agony. So that's why I come on here and I tell y'all, get into the internet. The internet was not always out here, but get into it, do your research. Make sure you look for these scholarships. Make sure you think of those creative ways. What were you a part of? What did you do? What were your contributions? Where did you put money into? Because if you was putting money into something, 9 times out of 10, like my mom told me, some money will come back to you. So I want to thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you're not already subscribed, make sure you hit that button so you can stay tuned for more tips on my channel for you college students, for you non-traditional students, for you traditional students, whoever you are. If you need this information, make sure you subscribe, because I will be banging out these videos for the next month. Again, if you have any comments, if you have any advice, make sure you leave them down in the comment box below. Share with your fellow YouTube fam, and I will see you guys in the next video.